Welcome to the Hunger Games, folks, where all the names are stupid.
You don't think, yeah, that's so true, because sometimes when I'm sitting there and reading or listening to the names, I'm like, who came up with this?
It's such like it for me. I'm like, you're trying too hard. You're trying way too hard. This is stupid.
But that's the thing with the capital, and like that totally happens where people name their kids. There's all these people whose kids are named something. I don't know.
Can't remember any.
Right? I don't know. I think it
can
does
remember the one I
today.
like.
And so we just progressed it. Everybody was like, I need a unique name for my kid. If everybody wants the unique
stand
name,
out.
Yeah, then everyone's got like something like that. Something like, I can't even remember one of them. But
one of them
hilarious.
was like Lisa Strata.
I wish my name was Hilarious. That's great.
Hilarious Heavensby. Yeah.
That's a good name. What if he was like super serious and he's like, but his name's Hilarious, and he'd be like, stop laughing.
Then he'd be ironic. His name would be Hilarious Ironia.
Ironicus.
Yeah, that's a good one. Ironicus.
Well, and sometimes you don't know how to pronounce them. So like in my head, I kept changing, like Coriolanus. I was like, Coriolanus, I was like, every time I'd read it, I would skim through and be like, how do I really say this name? I don't know. So, and his friend.
I don't know if I said it right either.
No, what's the guy? No, I don't even remember because I read this
Sejanus.
Yes, that one.
Yes.
Is
yeah,
it Sejanus?
I couldn't get Sejanus the first few times either until I listened to it through an audiobook, and I was like, that still doesn't check out for me.
It's Lucy Gray, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's normal.
Okay, good. I was like, because I was
She's
reading
got a
my
normal
book
name.
report, and I was like, I think it's Lucy Gray, but it seems like in my mind, I was like, that name is really simple compared to all the rest. So maybe I'm wrong, and I just invented that to make it easier to read.
They said in the book that people from the Covey, they get their one name from a ballad and one name as a color. So that's why
color,
everybody from the Covey is got like a normal sounding name.
Good names.
Yeah.
I know that we've already started talking, but maybe Ashley, do you want to introduce the book?
Officially.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
Officially?
Yes. Okay. So this is me officially introducing the book. So we are talking about The Hunger Games, A Ballad of Songbird and Snakes, which came out a few years ago. It's by Suzanne Collins, and the movie was adapted in 2023. So we're still kind of in the height of all of the Hunger Game craze again, which I'm very excited for.
Yeah. Wonderful.
So when was the book actually released? Because I thought it was newer.
It is
like
newer.
Was it part of the I want to say trilogy, but obviously not, because that would make it a quadrilogy, right? That's the technical term for 4 books.
2020 copyright 2020.
Yes.
I was gonna say 2020. Yeah, so that's right. 2020.
Yeah. I was surprised at how quickly it became a movie, because The Hunger Games had taken so long from its release to actually becoming a movie for it to happen. So I was a little shocked when they had already announced the movie and stuff for it.
I wouldn't be surprised if while she was writing the book, they're like, or they might have been like, can you write another one? Like, I wonder if they were talking about it earlier on, like before the book even came out. I read this book back when we did the Hunger Games. And I read it
did you really?
I read it in French.
Yeah.
I read it in French. And then I listened to it in English.
Okay.
And I didn't enjoy the audiobook, but then I was like, I need a refresher, but I was reading our next book and I didn't know if I'd had the time. So I got the audiobook again and listened to it on double time. Like, and then near the end, I was like, I gotta finish this before tomorrow. And I was listening to it 2.5 times, which you can't do with a normal book, but because I'd already kind of read it twice. So I blasted through this. The audiobook's like 16 hours long. So, but if you listen to it on double time or double 2.5, so I was listening to it in the car, my kid's like, this is too fast. I was like, I guess I can slow it down a little bit. But also,
you're like, I have a time limit on this. I can't take time.
I gotta listen to it, and when I'm going places in the car, just like
you're like gibberish.
Just read the first and the last sentence of each page. You basically get the gist.
Well, like, I tried to do it at triple time, and I have to admit, that is too fast. I was like, I'm not catching it. Because, like, by the time you put the sentence together, they're way past it. And you're like,
oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Totally. They're on to a whole different chapter.
That's right. So 2.5 was as fast as I could go. So, but not, I wouldn't be able to do that on a new book. But, you know, for summaries.
Oh.
I have never listened to an audiobook. Ever in my life.
Ever.
Really?
I think I keep thinking, but I don't know. It just seems to me like it's too just disjointed. Like unless I'm going to sit down and listen to it, I feel like if I did little bits here and there, I would be confused. Maybe, I don't know.
I definitely was not pro audiobook until this season when there were so many books. I was like, I have to figure out how I'm going to read all these books, and then I was like, wait a minute. I'm driving for 3 hours a day. So I was like, I'm going to use some audiobooks. And now I've read 17 books, like in 5 seconds. It's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe I should.
It really is. It really, really is.
Yeah. I like audiobooks for when you want to be reading something or listening to a story, but you can't physically be reading a book. Like you're saying, driving.
Yeah.
Right? I would love to be reading a book while simultaneously driving. So that's what the audiobook's for.
I've seen people do that.
Yeah, right.
Actually,
I do.
Book, and they're like driving, and you're like,
but I do have a tip. If you like give it a couple books, because like the first audiobook I listened to was Eat, Pray, Love, because that's why it started too, because I didn't want to reread it, but it had been so long that I was like, oh, maybe I'll try this. I didn't like the author's voice, like the way she read it was a little bit robotic for me or whatever. But then I read this other book that we're not reading as part of Book Interrupted, and it was way better. Like the voice that they chose like suited what I felt like how I wanted to hear it, I guess. So be careful, because there's like I don't know why I assumed everything would be pleasant to my ear. But you may find that it's not, but not all audiobooks are the same. Like they're not all
some are good and some
and sometimes the author reads them. Like you can get Matthew McConaughey's version of his book. So how great would that be to listen to McConaughey, tell you about green lights or whatever the heck it's called.
You think, but the one that Eat, Pray, Love did was the author, and you did not like it.
Correct.
So, you know what I mean? Like, it could go either way.
I haven't heard a lot of Elizabeth Gilbert, though, but McConaughey has an excellent drawl.
Viola Davis does her memoir, and it's amazing. And she won an Emmy for it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Sometimes you have audiobooks where they have 2 different narrators, like one for a boy and one for a girl or something. And
which I think they should do.
Enjoyable.
Like what am I listening to? Oh, I'm doing the Henrietta Lacks one right now, and I'm doing it on audiobook. And I have lots of things to say about that because there's lots of different voices represented. I'm not going to say it right now.
No. Can you preview like the voice? Like, is there a way to be like, am I going to like this voice or not before you buy it?
You can preview it, like do a little listen to see what it's like.
Okay. To see.
This book would have been a really good book to have to like a male and a female, because I listened to the audiobook and I fucking hated it. Like, just
the way he did the female voices sounded a little patronizing, actually.
Yes, and so annoying too, the way they were singing. Like the female version, just get a girl in there. Like, you know, it's
he'd like talk the songs, and like I get it, it's tough, but he'd be like, "Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling, Clementine." I'm not joking. No, like, we all know the song. Try to be like, "Oh my darling," like we all know that song. But I guess you can, if you're going to talk some of the songs, then you might as well talk them all.
What do we think about the adaptation from the book to the movie?
Well, I'll start. I loved it. Absolutely, yes, I loved it. I loved the 3 parts. I already own it, so I've seen it like a dozen times now. It's on in the background constantly. And I don't know, and it might just be right now because I'm so excited about having a new Hunger Games. But I think it's my favorite movie out of all. I guess there's 5 of them now. So yeah, that's my opinion.
I feel the opposite. Sorry, Ashley.
Oh, okay. No, that's okay. I want to hear it.
No, I liked the movie. I thought it was well done, but because I just finished reading the book and then I watched the movie right afterwards, there's so many things missing and they changed so many things. I kept having, I was with my partner and I kept stopping it and pausing, be like, in the book, they said blah, 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 blah. And then we would watch a little bit, be like, in the book, they missed this and this and this and this and this. So by the end, when it got to like the end, he's like, it doesn't feel like there was enough build up for the climax to happen. But totally. I just felt like there was just, you couldn't have fit everything in. So maybe if they'd done 2 movies, the one that was like the Hunger Games side and the other one in District 12, that to me would have been better. But
I heard there's a 5-hour director's cut somewhere. Oh. Yeah, and I'm like, I'll watch it. Just let me know. I have 5 hours to spare. So yeah, I think that would be awesome. But I totally agree with that. I think there was so much left out because they were trying to fit it in like a movie theater time frame. And
they squished it. Like it did feel rushed. Like and in the Hunger Games, the way the people died were different and stuff too. Yeah. And they made it look like the drones were weapons. I feel like the water one was weapons, but they made it look like the drones were part of them. Like anyway, there's inside the games, that whole set I think was super rushed through because they just wanted to get through it. And I feel like the end when he was in 12 was also rushed through. Yeah.
All the Hunger Games movies feel like that though too, right? Like when I watch them, I'm just kind of like, they change a lot of stuff and you're like, because they can't pack it all in, I guess.
They couldn't,
like a slow
I thought they did a good job though. I thought they did a good job adapting, like all the Hunger Games, adapting that book into a movie, considering they could never possibly do it all. And there were some things they added to the movie that I thought was good, like that added to the book that wasn't in the book.
Oh, like what?
So when the cousin was basically telling him, "Don't be like his dad," like he's like, "Oh, I look like my dad," and she's like, "No, basically your dad's evil, and you're not. You're a good person." And then how at the end he was like, "Well, you're evil, like you're just like your dad now." I thought that was good because they had to somehow show how he became who he was, because it just mattered he won and that he became like his father and he did the legacy of the Snows. Like I thought because they had to squish it all in, it was like an easy way to say, so now you've become your dad. And you
whereas in the book,
you had an opportunity to be a good person. Like it slowly showed him as a good person becoming this evil person because of all these circumstances in the book, but they had to kind of shorten it, being like, here are the moments that you made the wrong decision and now you're this.
Right. As whereas in the book it was like him throwing away his mom's, like, spoiler alert, by the way, his mom's like powder, being like, it got wet, he throws this thing that's so precious to him in the trash. And then he got rid of like most of the pictures. He's like, I don't need these pictures, and he just kept his dad's compass, right? He's like, this is what I need because now I'm my dad.
You know how I'm like never like the movie, like the movie's always way worse than the book. So for this one, I thought it was really interesting because I really liked the book in the beginning and through the Hunger Games, and then at the end I was like, I hate this book, just end, you're way too long and stupid, like I hate you. And then when I watched the movie, I had the exact opposite experience where I was like, this movie seems fake and stupid. Like, what's with these characters, whatever. And then the Hunger Games was okay. And then at the end, I was like, oh, I like that movie. That was a pretty good movie. And I think it's because they cut out so much stuff. I was like, this is how it should be. Like, it was much more efficient. Like, I really so it was weird because like literally opposite. You know what I mean? Like from beginning to end, my enjoyment was opposite for book and movie.
I don't remember if we discussed it in the original Hunger Games or not, but did you enjoy the adaptation from that book to the movie?
Yeah, I didn't mind those adaptations because you do want to see the Hunger Games, I guess. Like reading about it is fun, but that's what makes me want to watch a movie, is when there's something in the book you wish you could see. I know that I didn't like the third one because, and I said this in the Hunger Games episode, I think, or whenever we talked about whatever, I don't like the political unrest and all the talking about whatever. So the third Hunger Games book was like that, so I didn't like it. And then the movie obviously was the same, and I'm like, so I don't enjoy that. And then I think that's also why I didn't like the end of the book, because it was again like, oh, like I just want the Hunger Games only. Like I just want all of the time in the like that movie and book didn't have
destruction.
I just want like the whole concept is wow, all these people have to go into this crazy space and then it's like last man standing. And like that's enough. I don't need 50,000 sub stories outside of it, like taking away from the whole thing that attracted me to it in the first place.
Just want to see some children get killed and killing each other. I just want to see
Kim's front row every year.
Children get killed each other so they don't die.
I came here for dead kids.
Come on,
be careful.
gory weapons and weird mutants coming after these children. I want to see these crazy mutants. Yeah.
No, but like, I also felt like the book and the movie, that both of them are like three separate things. Like there's like three parts in the one thing, and it's like just pick a direction and invest there. Those were my things that made me not be like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah, I found the end was slower than the beginning too. I agree that like once they got to District 12, I was like, I read the first half so fast, and then the second bit or the last third or whatever was so slow. Laird's like, you're still reading this book?
And yet it wraps up like once it's like you think like,
oh yeah,
you're gonna be in District 12 forever. All of a sudden, like I don't want to. Should I spoil it?
I mean, you could just say spoiler alert.
Get one episode.
Warning.
Do it.
Basically, all of a sudden he's looking for her with a gun in his hand. Right?
Well,
like all of a sudden he's like, and she knows that he's gonna do that because like, obviously he like killed his best friend. Like she's probably been suspicious the whole time, and you wonder like how much of their relationship was she like aware, because she's good at manipulating people's emotions as part of what she does as an entertainer, right? Like that's how she makes her way in the world. And how long did she know? Like she probably always suspected him because like, let's face it, right? Like I mean, he's
her coach in the Hunger Games.
Yeah. Like how much was that her like caring for him, and how much was it her stringing him along? Right?
Well, I don't know.
She always pretending, or did she really care about him? Like it's hard to know. Like was she a songbird or a snake? They're both, right? Like
she's the songbird.
I was gonna say I think they're mirror images of each other.
Yeah.
I think that he went the evil way and she went the not evil way, but they were both like kind of manipulative, showing a different face that wasn't their own to the outside world. That's why they kind of connected, because they were the same but different. You know what I mean? Like they were the same, but
like their angle was different. Yeah.
Right. He wanted power and whatever, and she wanted something else, but they both did the same things.
And even the cousin Tigress, she even says it was after the reaping, and Coriolanus is like thinking about how he's gonna get people to look at her and whatever, right, through the Hunger Games. He says she's basically district, like ew, and Tigress is like, don't like overlook that, you guys might have a lot more in common than you think. And I think from there on out it's basically just like parallels, like they're both hungry, right? He's starving in the capital, she's starving in District 12. They're both kind of like zoo animals, there's so many parallels that shows
they're both performing all the time, right? Like he's performing to pretend he's still like in this prominent family and whatever, and she's pretending that she's on stage pretending constantly like that she's fine and not scared. And
he's saying like everything is self-defense. I love his inner voice where he can justify anything. He's like, but I had to do that because otherwise they might find out that I'm poor or whatever. Like otherwise, like he just justified everything. Well, this was kind of like self-defense too. What other option did I have but to kill people or whatever he was doing? Everything was an act, and he just inside he's like, anyone else would do this too. Like he just no idea that a lot of people would not, and the people who would not, like his friend Janus, he wouldn't, and he just could not understand him. He's like, what's wrong with you, right?
What's wrong with Janus? He's conscious.
Well, and when he died in
Besides
the
his
movie,
name.
there was like no build up for that. It was like all of a sudden the movie, you're like, what? Whereas there's like, where did that come from? Whereas in the book, like it feels like there's a development, but in the movie, it's like just there and gone, and then that storyline's over and they move on.
I thought they did that okay with the ending though, because the ending was abrupt, but in the movie, you could see it transpiring, like, oh, the God, like now they understand, and they like, you could see the moment where maybe Lucy Gray was aware all along, but like the moment where they both knew each other knew or whatever, like, so the ending like was fine, but yeah, they did like push things in and like having to sneak through the fence, like, I don't know, it's just the weird, it's weird what things they decide make the movie too.
You have a movie that's almost 3 hours long and you're gonna put like 4 or 5 full songs in there?
Oh yeah, that's true. The songs were really long in the movie. I'm like, can we just cut? Like, she's singing, and then we don't need to hear the whole thing.
Yes. Like
Totally.
we could have had like a 20-30 second snippet and we could have moved on. So much more could have been added if we had cut out those songs.
I felt like that in the book too. Like, I'm like, I don't want to read all of the lyrics. Like, I know that they had meaning and whatever, but like, I don't know, that like that tool was overused, so it made me be like, I don't even care about the meaning because I'm just trying to finish this terrible ending of a book.
Oh, I didn't read the song lyrics, I don't think. Like, I kind of just skimmed them, moved on.
Oh,
yeah,
I think
they
it was
weren't
like
that
meant to
amazing.
be, like,
yeah, I wish.
I think it was like meant to like show like how her way of like manipulating people and stuff was a little bit different than his too, right? Like she was like, he didn't really understand any of the metaphors. He's like, I don't get this. He's just kind of it's so funny because he kind of acted like he was smart, but also he was a bit of a blunt instrument, you know, like he was smart in a certain way. And she was more in a more subtle way, where she was like using some of these lyrics, I think, to manipulate him and other people as well, right? Because he'd be like, is she singing about me? She's singing about that other guy. And like, did she put the guns in that house? Like,
no, that guy did.
Along? Yeah, but like
that third guy.
Maybe though, or maybe she knew about it and this was her test, right? Because like like his character development the whole time is him going through all of these different tests. Like the crazy doctor knew that he was his father's son, probably, and so she from the very beginning was like, I'm going to develop this guy to taking over my world of crazy, right? Like, because like the dean wasn't going to do it. She's like, who's going to take over the Hunger Games and I want to live forever? I want that to be around, so I need this guy to get crazy. So you wonder if like Lucy Gray, like I know she seemed like innocent and stuff, but I think that's part of it is not just that she necessarily went the good way, but they were both very similar, and she just did it a different way. Like he wants power and she wanted freedom, and they were just going for different things, I guess. Like she also kind of wanted power, but like, did she know the guns were there? Like I feel like it was a test. Like she knew ahead. She had that ribbon on her head before they went, so that he could see her so she could manipulate him later. Like she had a plan, because she took that ribbon right. She's like, now I'm going to go get some stuff, and then tied it to a thing all ready for him to get bit by a snake. I'm just saying. I think she was, you know, like songbirds and snakes. Yeah. They're both snakes and they're both songbirds. They're both.
Right. He sang too. He sang the national anthem and stuff at those funerals.
Which they chose not to put in the movie.
Yep.
I feel like that was something.
Weird.
Yeah. Wasn't in the movie.
Yeah.
I will say,
they only showed the grandpa singing.
Yeah, I do wish in the movie that they did somehow, like with his inner monologue, because he was just like, the things he was thinking through certain situations as somewhat like, as a quote normal person, like watching that movie, I'm like, oh my God, my best friend is dying, you know, that's so sad. But then you read the book and it's like, he's only upset because he thinks he is next. Right? Like that's why he thinks because he's in association with him that he's gonna get hung too. But in the movie you're like, oh my God, wow, he is like, he's so sad about his friend, he regrets it. But in the book you're very aware that like, no, he doesn't. He's just he's more regretful being Sejanus's friend.
He's just self-focused.
Yes,
like totally. That's what's being shown all of the time. That's what his weakness is. That he can't understand other people because he doesn't take the time. He's just too busy focused on himself and his own experience.
Yeah,
wasn't he super cute though? Didn't you love when he shaved his head?
Oh my God. I love the long hair, the shaved head, all of it.
I started it and I was like, because I was all like, these guys are weird and awkward and this movie is slow and like his hair was all like curly and whatever. But then like as it went on, I was like, oh my God, I'm in love with Coriolanus.
Yes, and like seeing him, I'm like, well, I get it. It's sure, that's manipulate me, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm on this earth for such a small period of time and it's same as him. All right. Like, it's meant to be.
He was really handsome.
I do think that was such a smart move too, on whoever casted him. And I don't know if it was intentional or not, but pretty privilege, right? And I wonder if part of that was the point, is to show that like, so many people are like, oh my God, like I don't care if Snow's evil, right? And that's probably part of like what realistically got him to where he was, is he was good looking and charming.
He also looked really way more buff at the end of the movie. Like I thought he was kind of skinny in the beginning, and then at the end of the movie, when he's not wearing his uniform, he looked really super buff. I was like, but he's so muscular. I don't know.
Because he went to the boot camp or whatever. He was starving,
and
then
why?
he went to boot camp.
Yeah.
Oh right,
he was
can eat now,
eating
right? That's why.
regular food, not just
started
lima
eating.
beans. Yeah, more than lima beans and cabbage soup. Yeah,
that's so funny. I thought he was cuter when he was skinnier.
With the long hair.
When he was all buff, I was like, oh, what happened?
Oh, I'm off put by that.
Stop feeding that boy.
It's called the Hunger Games.
Exactly.
Book interrupted.
Hey everyone. Maybe I'll send this in, Mark, and book interrupted because everyone else will see it. But our joke about it being the lawsuit episode for Eat, Pray, Love, Spotify didn't put it on because they think we have illegal content. So now I have to, I'm sure it's just AI, but now I have to like appeal to them that there isn't actually any illegal content. It was just a joke about having illegal content. Okay, bye.
Book interrupted.
One thing I did want to say earlier is in the original Hunger Games, we find out that Snow's way of killing people, his preferred way, is like poison. And he's, that's why he's always wearing roses, is to block out the smell of blood from the poison. And in this one, we really see him, watch this like dead rat die, and we see him like kind of develop his signature like kill move through it. So
Signature move.
Yeah, his MO.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of neat to see. Like, I do like some of the things that they brought in from the original Hunger Games. Sometimes I was like, I think they're trying a little too hard to relate it. But stuff like that, it's kind of subtle, but it's cool to see. Like, he really just be killing anyone with poison. Like,
yeah, he loves poison.
I have a quick question. What you guys think? So, do you think the cousin Tigress is the same Tigress that helps Katniss and the group?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it's the same one.
Definitely.
Oh,
yeah, totally.
Yeah, he.
Oh, okay.
Because she used to be in the games, but like obviously he kind of was like, no, you got to go away. But he didn't kill her. She knows a lot of stuff.
He thought she was too ugly for the games anymore, so he wasn't allowed, or she wasn't allowed to be a mentor. Or she wasn't a mentor. She was part of like the glam squad.
Yeah.
For
but he probably wanted to remove her because she was a weakness for him. Because anybody else who knows so much about him, he would have killed long ago. And he doesn't like. Remember, he was like, "I'll never fall in love again." But he probably actually loves Tigress. Yeah. And so he, rather than like have this weakness around him, he was like, "You're too ugly. You must leave." Right? Because like, why else would he let her like live in?
Well, just even loving someone, period. Yeah. He's probably like, "Ooh, that's can't happen. Like, I can't let people know that I love someone else."
The other thing about the poison is like in this book, he learns that killing people with like force is a liability. Right? Mm-hmm. He shot somebody or two, I don't know, and
beat someone too.
Beat somebody, and then there's too much evidence left behind. Whereas like.
Poisoning,
he was getting away with that,
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Because I wonder if it's common that because so far the movies have been longer movies for the books that we've read, and the one coming up, I've watched the movie as well. And
Eat, Pray, Love wasn't a long movie, or was it?
Felt long.
It felt
it
long.
was 2 hours.
God.
Like it wasn't like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it.
Right? Like, yeah. So I'm just saying, I wonder if that's the theme. Like a book turned into a movie ends up being a longer movie because they're trying to fit in more stuff.
And then people still
like,
say
that's a normal.
The book was better because it had more details. They're like, we tried. We made it really long.
Yeah.
People are complaining.
It doesn't apply to everything though, because Shawshank I don't think is a particular. I think Shawshank actually is a 2 hour
It's a short
movie.
story. Yeah, and it's a short story.
And it's a short story.
And it's a short story.
So that's what we need.
everything.
That's the formula. Short story to movie seems to be like, on a map, like 1 inch is a mile. Like it's like short story to movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have to have like 3 movies to tell a book.
Or a limited.
And then you might as well have a limited series.
Yeah. I love limited series. That's the way of the future. I'll take 6 episodes.
Dude, if the Hunger Games wanted to be a series, and I was just thinking about this.
That could be the way we watch all 75.
Yes, that's what you can have. Every 76
5 seasons.
I'm not even gonna be here
the
for
longest
all of
running
them.
show.
Yes, like it's you guys, I would watch every year. It would consume my life. So I'm almost happy that's not a thing. But if they wanted to. Yeah, I'll adapt. It's fine.
I'll way busier.
Binge watching 70 Hunger Games in like 70 days, it would change you, right? Like change who you are.
You would be such a violent person, I think.
You'd be Coriolanus.
The way you would think is
so you become Coriolanus.
You'd be like, children dying, that's normal. Like, I don't know what your issue is.
Everything you would see as a weapon. You're like, can I use that as a weapon? Can I hide over there? Where's the closest water source?
Anyone. Yeah.
All right.
Holy moly.
Well, do you want to wrap that up? Any last words? Otherwise, we'll move to the next episode.
Snow lands on top. That's
good one.
No lands on top.
I like when the dean was like, snow is falling. And it's like, no, he's going to kill you, buddy.
I know. Oh my! I love just the play on the words with his last name. I love it throughout the movie. It might be because he's hot, and I just him saying like snow always lands on top or whatever. Oof!
You're like on top of me.
Word.
Word
to that.
I haven't seen the movie.
Tom Blyth hit me up.
I feel.
I'm
He's
a big
handsome.
fan. He's so handsome. Oh my god, it's like beyond handsome. It's he also models for Hermes. If anyone cares, like obviously he's so picture perfect. So anyways, huge fan over here.
Too bad he's a huge monster.
Yeah, well,
Coriolanus, not the guy.
I know.
Hopefully.
I don't know about this.
You don't know,
but probably not.
Hopefully not.
If he's listening,
why don't you write in and let us know how you are?
Are you a monster?
Yeah.
Are you a monster?
He would never say it. He'd be like, no, I had to do all those things.
And I'd be like, that's right, you did. Like, you don't gotta explain to me. You don't. It's fine.
You could just land on top and we're good.
Yeah.
land on top.
I'll destroy people's lives with you. That's a power couple. Me in a red suit, like I just
That's a power couple.
It is. Are you kidding? Yeah, I'll change my last name to Snow right away.
I think. Are you on the next episode?
Yes.
I know what your name's gonna be.
Oh, do you?
If you've enjoyed these video highlights, listen to the full episode on our YouTube channel or wherever you get your podcasts. Remember to like and subscribe and ring that bell to be notified when new episodes are published. Find out more by going to www.bookinterrupted.com.
Never forget, every child matters.